Hey guys, as you can tell, I'm in the new Kia Telluride with my man Sophian from Redline Reviews. Sophian has a much
All right, folks, I think we're ready to go. So
better
I'm getting this lead Telluride.
YouTube
We're
channel.
gonna head on out to our camping trip.
And the unique thing about this, besides the fact that we're going to have our lead driver interrupting us all the time in this video, is that this Kia, check it out right there, that's a better one right there, let me zoom in on it, is the new X Pro. And Sophian, what makes the X Pro special?
So it's special because it has those all-terrain tires, 18-inch wheels, and Kia also has updated the suspension and given it about 0.4 inches of ground clearance more.
Yeah, 0.4, dude.
0.4, yeah. 8.4, it's not quite as high as the class-leading, which I think is the Subaru Ascent, but it's decent.
All right, fantastic. Looks like I've
Yeah, I mean,
5 cars behind me.
this is not going to be,
So as we exit the ranch here, we're going to come out on the...
like I say, we're going to get a lot of interruptions.
Out onto the pavement. Everybody make sure it's clear to your right and left before we exit, because it is a public roadway.
And this video is going to be, let's just show it warts and all so you can see
We're going to make our first
what we're always fighting on these press launches, Sophian.
Yeah.
And the funny part was, he actually said he's going to keep the radio chatter down because other people are filming. So just so you understand, you know, we are here outside of San Antonio, Texas, and Kia brought us to this ranch where they want to show off the off-road prowessness, the worthiness of this new X Pro line, right? So you said it's got more ground clearance, it's got more off-road worthy tires, right? I think the closest competitor would be the Nissan Pathfinder, Rock Creek, yeah. So look, it's not going to compete with the Jeep Grand Cherokee L.
No, absolutely not.
All right, we'll make a left in between the white gates here.
But I'm guessing that they're trying to separate this car, and Kia and Hyundai hate when you do this, right? When you compare the two, they're like trying to pretend they're separate companies,
Right.
But they're not.
Because Hyundai doesn't have an off-roady, more off-roady version of the Palisade like this.
Track yet.
So you and Tommy,
A little bit here. Pretty fantastic property that we're on. That's, you're going to see a lot of African descendants of like a Native American deer with all the different horn configurations and colors. But they raise African animals on the ranch here, so it's pretty cool.
there you go. They raise African animals here because I'm sure you've come to this channel to check
The African animals
out. Anyway, like I was saying, what they've done is they've tried to separate the Palisade from the Telluride, I think by making this one the and I'm doing air quotes here, off-road worthy one, right? So more ground clearance, AT tires, and then behind me, I don't know if I can, actually, can you lean forward, please?
Coming on down with us, if you would like, through the gate, and then onto the...
It says X Pro.
A bit close to us and in position, and ready to go at a moment's notice.
So here we are, basically going into this Texas ranch where they raise, like he said, African animals, and we've got what I would consider a dirt road.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
A gravel road that probably, this is the most off-roading that I imagine owners would put their Telluride through.
Yeah. When we drove out here, we were kind of talking about this, and I kind of felt like this is a good vehicle to get you down the dirt road, but when the dirt road ends, that's when it's going to get a little funky. Now, you do have a locking center diff right there, which is pretty cool. And there is is there an off-road mode?
No, there is no off-road mode, just that locking diff, and then there's a downhill brake control assist.
Oh, look, here are the African animals. There they are. Look at that. Oh, there's more over here. Look at that.
I feel like we were on this ranch in the Celtos a couple of years ago. So this looks
we're going to make
familiar.
it right here and start our journey. If you just want to find a cool place to hang out about where you are, that's fine. So if you're grabbing video, you're going to want to turn your parking assist button off so it sits behind the shifter. It's a P with the cone next to it.
Was that on or off?
Right below that is our camera, our forward-looking camera. 2/3 of it is going to show a clear vision of the front. The right 1/3 has a pretty cool feature. If you turn your wheels either to the right or left, it shows your predictive rear tire radius, and that will be useful in avoiding obstacles and cones.
And rattlesnakes.
One more button that I like to get rid of is the auto off. It just left of the parking. And then in the center behind the shifter, push straight down on our drive select, and that locks our center differential.
Oh, we got a...
Other than that, I will
50-50 torque split
to a minimum, and here we go, and I hope everybody has fun.
I think it's electronic center diff. It's not like
it's not a mechanical one.
No.
Like,
And hey, Sophian, have you told your audience yet what car you're getting? What new car? Have you spilled the beans?
I don't have spilled the beans yet to them.
So I don't want to wreck the surprise, so I'll be quiet about it. But I'll give them a hint. It has something to do with what we're doing right now.
Yes, it does.
Yes, I think that's fair enough to say, right?
That's fair enough to say, but they'll know soon because it is on the train, or it just arrived at port in Baltimore, and it's heading to the dealership in PA probably in the next few days.
Congratulations, dude.
Thank you.
That's
I'm
exciting.
excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
That's super excited. Now, other off-road worthy features of this car at the press conference, somebody asked, and they said the shocks are a little bit, well, he used the word longer.
Yes.
I'm not sure what that means.
I guess they have more travel to them is what they're saying.
Yeah, I'd like to get a little bit more specific, you know.
They were very vague in their explanation.
Like, like rebound rates and I mean, are they just like, longer because they've got more ground clearance? They have to be longer? I guess that's the question, right?
Right.
And then, other than that, obviously, this vehicle starts as a base two-wheel drive at about $38,000. Mm-hmm. And then if you go all the way up the ladder to the X Pro, there's also an X Pro line which sits underneath this.
Telluride provides.
Yes, sure. Really nice guy, but doesn't understand video production, but they never do. Anyway, so this one is like 54, right, with destination when it's all said and done.
Yeah, definitely pricey for a Telluride, but still, it gives you a ton of features, and I guess if you like the look of this, you'll be able to justify it, but it's also kind of right in line with what everyone's paying for a new car nowadays, which is almost 50 grand.
Yeah, I think 48 is the latest new car. So 55 is, high, but it's probably doable. They also dropped the bombshell on us, and they said that look at this, got a little bit of like off camber here stuff. Yeah. They also dropped the bombshell, and they said that they are going to be increasing production to 120,000 units a year, which is a lot.
That's a big deal because Kia hasn't been able to keep up with demand for this car.
I think it's on. Try turning it off again.
Okay. Oh, the parking sensor, yeah. I was like, why is it beeping?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you were saying they haven't been able to keep up with demand.
Yeah, because last year Kia told us they did around 93,000 units, which actually outsold the Palisade. So, I mean, this year they should be on track to do well over 100,000. So it's good if you guys are wanting this car, and maybe that'll help with all these crazy markups, but I kind of doubt it.
Now I'm zoomed in on the taillights. They've kind of changed those around a little bit for 23. It's a mild refresh, right? So the grill's a little bit different. You now get standard LEDs in the front of it, and interior, obviously, this has always been, in my opinion at least, one of the best in class, and I think it continues to be so.
Yeah, I really like the updates they've made. The one thing that I wanted to ask you, Roman, they got rid of those signature amber illuminated square rectangular daytime running lights. What do you think of the new design?
First little challenge of
I think it's just
wheel in the air. Make sure you coax the car along with a steady amount of throttle.
Let me zoom in on it.
Stab and just a little coax.
See, I don't know if I can get out or not. I guess I can ask. I'm wondering if those African animals include lions and such.
Probably not. I'd say no.
This is a little off-roady.
Yeah.
I like the design. It's cleaner, I think. The white lights are a little bit cleaner, a little bit less in your face. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think the rear looks better, and then the fact that now you can get LED headlights standard on every trim. Before you had to get like the high trim to get it, and I always think that cars, especially when they have halogens, they just don't look as good, and they're just not as good at night as well. But there's some nice improvements, and obviously people get used to the changes whenever these start hitting the dealerships.
I always say this has become a cliche, but whenever a car is extremely successful, they actually said 70% of their buyers pre-order these.
Really?
Yeah, and 70% come in all-wheel drive.
That makes sense. Most people buy it with all-wheel drive in these.
But look, whenever you have a successful vehicle like this, right, it's always going to be evolutionary, never revolutionary, right? Because it sells. People love. Like what I love about this car is that it brings the premium segment down to the people. Mm-hmm. You've got things like obviously heated and cooled seats, which you're using, a heated steering wheel. Yeah. I love this suede headliner that you were telling me feels like it's right out of a Mercedes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the material quality here definitely feels like it could wear the Genesis logo in here. It's really, really nice. And I also love the new screens, the two 12-inch displays. This is very Mercedes-like here, how they formed to create basically one screen, one looking screen.
Yeah, I agree. It's It's and one of my favorite things right here is that you've got your radio and media controls separate from the screen, as well as your HVAC, right? So you don't have to rely on just the screen, because we've been in cars, I'm sure you have, where it's either clunky or slow or disappears, and then you can't control, like, you know, how hot or cold it is inside the car.
Yeah, the fact that we have like knobs, buttons, and they all have a nice, satisfying, clicky feel just kind of like tells me Kia listens to
showcase our hill hold. Foot off the brake. Let it hold for a second and then over.
Are you worried?
I think we can get down that without falling down the hill.
All right. So does it have, so it's got the auto hold I see there. I see it's got comfort mode, sport mode, smart mode, eco mode, and snow mode, but no off-road mode.
No off-road mode.
Oh,
that is a huge oversight for a car that wears the X Pro badge.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? Because it wouldn't take much. It would just be a line of code, right? Or a couple lines of code. Yeah.
That's all it is.
Just changing the way the car appropriates
it'll
power.
hold it for a couple of seconds, and then off you go.
Doesn't look like it is.
Yeah.
Throttle over the top.
Somebody's having a trouble. Is there anybody behind us? Good. No, because I'd hate to have it roll back.
It's definitely a little strange to see this big SUV going up this hill and on these kind of terrains.
So you know, Sophiane, we've got this off-road channel, right? So we've been doing a lot of off-roading, and it's a good.
Make sure when you get up on that incline, and go ahead. And,
why is it still beeping?
Come to a stop so that you can feel that hill hold.
So
climb more.
So the light on means it's on, and the light off means it's off.
All right,
look,
it's
blue
holding.
sky, yes.
It's holding.
There you go. Nice.
Let's go up this hill and go down it. I can't see, but thank God these cameras are showing me what's in front of me.
Yeah, but it's two-dimensional. Oh.
Could use some skid plates, huh?
Yeah, exactly. The other thing I would say is, like, you can tell how serious a brand takes the vehicle's off-roadiness by.
Have your forward-facing camera on.
Here he goes again. And the parking sensors keep turning themselves back on.
Oh, yeah, which is really annoying. So I'll try it one more time. You can tell how serious a brand takes their off-roadiness is by how difficult the course is, right? And let's face it, the common criticism we get is my car can do that, right? And their car is usually like a Civic or something, right? And it's true. Most cars can go into this kind of off-roadiness relatively easily and do it, right? It helps, especially if you have four-wheel drive. But then the tires are the next big thing, or if not the biggest thing, and having good tires makes a big deal. So you combine four-wheel drive, or in this case all-wheel drive, with good off-road tires, and you've got the recipe for a really good, I wouldn't say off-roader, but dirt roader. Fair?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, this right here is stuff that I don't think owners would ever put their Telluride through, but it's kind of cool that Kia's showing us it can.
Yeah.
But really, the tires are what's making all the difference. And this is something an owner can easily change if you just got the regular trim.
So are you saying that an owner should stick an X Pro badge on his car and get some KO2s and be done with it?
It would look pretty similar, especially if they got the same wheels.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have the X Pro embossed lovingly in the back of your seat.
No, you would not. Absolutely not. Plus, I think this color is exclusive to the X Pro. It's a nice looking color.
It is. I like it. It's very rich blue, isn't it? Almost purple to some extent. It's got a little bit of violet in it. Anyway, I was saying, so you can tell how seriously a manufacturer takes their off-roader by how seriously they off-road.
4 inches of ground clearance, no brakes, and very little throttle, almost idle speed through here.
So for me, if you go on a Jeep event or a Range Rover / Land Rover event, it's pretty obvious that they take their off-roading seriously, right? You've got some pretty hardcore, let's call it Moab-y or Arizona off-roady kind of, this is definitely a much more curated, right? You can see they set up this pit. This is not a natural occurring rock pit.
No, I call the Jeep events butt clenching moments where literally you see it and you're like, Jeep wants me to drive over that.
Well, hold on, let me run out. I'm gonna run out and get you from the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get that. And we'll get you doing it from the outside so you guys can see what it looks like. If you do clench your butt, just be quiet about it. All right, here you go. You can see what it looks like.
All right, Kia says this is how we test out the 8.4 inches of ground clearance. Hopefully it doesn't scrape on anything. All right, I didn't hear anything scrape. That's good.
No butt clenching there?
Nope, and it didn't scrape on anything, so that's good.
Yeah, it did well. I can hear those tires, and we're not aired down actually.
We're not? Okay.
Yeah, but anytime, like, be it on a racetrack or an off-road course, when you do a lead follow, you know, they are a little bit worried about the car and your safety.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of
Real quick, we are going to use our downhill brake control. So in front of your left knee shows a vehicle at an angle going down.
You want to show it?
Press that.
Here.
So-
Take that.
It'll activate on the
So
dash.
the
until
button
you
is
get
right
it
over here on the dash.
It'll
Just
also
touch
have
that,
a
and then it
green
says downhill
display of
brake
that right
control
about your
on.
6,000 RPM. What I want you to do is come to the top of the hill, pause just for a second, and then release brake, and don't touch it all the way down. It'll hold your speed for you as you crest the hill.
So this is where I think they could have worked that into the off-road button here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's weird that you have a locker here and then you have a
Downhill brake control.
right. Yeah, it's like the two teams weren't talking to each other. I'm not criticizing it. Look, I think, well, I am criticizing it, but to be fair, most people aren't going to be doing even this much off-roading right in there.
Mm-hmm.
What you're looking at are young families, right? Because it's a 3-row. This has the captain's chairs, so this seats 6. It just came back on.
I know it did.
Yeah. You know, you're looking at all-weather goodness, right? That's what you're really doing here when you're making this vehicle off-roady for most people.
Oh yeah, you can feel it. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like off-road cruise control.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But I could see this also, and I think there is a YouTube channel that's dedicated where a guy actually took a Telluride and beefed it up and made it into an Overlander. So there is this just built and baked in box goodness in this thing, right? Where it's got a ton of room back there. I was actually sat in my first video, I sat in the back row and I sort of kind of fit, dude.
Yeah, no, that's the one thing is like you get into something like the Highlander and you can't fit into the third row. Like this is one of the biggest third rows and you can actually fit adults back there, which is impressive.
Yeah, and it's not a penalty box.
No.
So if you were like out to lunch with your softball team and you draw the short straw, all right, and you're stuck in the back,
Right.
This wouldn't be a bad place to be.
There you go.
I actually
Yep, stay on the gas. Perfect.
I actually took this.
What you want to do is when you get tires in the air, give it about a quarter throttle, and that tells it.
All right, I'll go outside and get it from the outside again. I actually took this off-road in Moab when the first gen came out.
Oh, really?
And it did surprisingly well, yeah. All right, remember, no yelling if it gets butt clenchy.
Alrighty.
All right. I'm just kidding with Tofian, of course. He's more than capable of doing this without my assistance.
Kind of trench here where we should get a wheel.
All right, dude, go for it.
Let's see how this thing goes.
We'll get a tire in the air here. Here it goes. Look at that. Oh, a little bit of nice.
That was easy enough.
And you can see the traction control working there. I'll walk around. You can see the traction control working. I'm looking for potential lions and tigers. Oh my! No, I don't think there'd be gazelle running around if there were tigers out here. That might be one step too far. But I'm actually very impressed by how off-roady this is getting. I mean, that's some, serious metal chassis twisting off-roadiness.
It's more like a mud pit.
Plug in right there. That's where approach and departure angles. Rear wheel is spinning. Got a little bit of mud.
There we go.
But you can tell chassis
I'm gonna turn
stiffness by
here
how
and see it feels.
how the door opens. I was going to open it up, but you got through it.
Very impressive.
All right, I'm genuinely impressed, dude.
Yeah, the programming, I guess the software programming for this all-wheel drive system, it's really good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these, like you used to never be able to take like a mommy crossover like this in these kind of conditions because their all-wheel drive systems just didn't know where to send the power, and they've definitely just taken a different role, like with how good the software tuning can be.
Yeah, it's incredible how much off-road goodness you can bake into a car just by, having the wheels figure out where the traction is and where it isn't, and then adding a good set of tires to it. Yeah, it speaks volumes. And I love the fact that Kia is getting serious about off-roadiness.
Yeah.
Right? You've got really two brands, right? Land Rover and Jeep that kind of own that space. Mercedes with the G-Wagon, but that's kind of its own thing,
We're
right?
going to do a driver change here. I'll get out and talk to you folks a little bit. Make sure you set yourself up so your partner doesn't have to step in mud when he or she changes.
Well, I think we've got enough here. We've been rolling for 20 minutes. And where should they go if they want a professional review?
Oh, well, thank you, Roman. You can go to Redline Reviews, and I'll be posting my video as well whenever the embargo ends. Roman will probably beat me to this upload, but you can also find our video on October 31st at midnight.
Yeah, and we'll have our first walk around, of course, at alltfl.com, which is where we do all of our stuff. Remember, Redline Reviews. And thanks for watching. And now you can kind of see how these programs work. They're not ideal. So this is an off-road warts and all experience that you're seeing between me and Sophian. And thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Ciao.